First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Habakkuk. I would also like to give a double honors unto the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone that do rule well, that have taught me this truth. And then I would also like to say a sincere shalom unto the hopeful elect, unto the scattered elect, unto the brothers, the prophets, the men that are out there prophesying, laboring in this truth and in this doctrine. Unto you, I say shalom. Yo, eventually these nations, they're gonna have to back up all that shit talking. All right. And as of right now, they're not doing nothing, man. Everyone's just sitting on their hands, waiting, and I understand, and speaking as, as a man, as a prophet of the Yahawashi, we're hastening unto the day that the Lord comes and takes these devils out, delivers his elect. But we understand certain things that take place. Okay, the MOTB has to be enforced or made mandatory. Okay, this dollar has to crash. All right, things have to get really bad here in Babylon and other places of the world. But but at the same time, these nations, they're gonna have to do something eventually. All right, and until they get backed into a corner when they have no choice, and that's where things are going right now. All right, because a lot of these nations, they be talking that shit. They gonna do this and this, and they ain't doing nothing. They ain't And right now, they really don't want no smoke with Babylon. They don't want no smoke with America. All right, just in recent news, you got Trump talking about he's gonna take over Greenland. Then you got the uh, uh, Denmark making a statement saying that they're going to do this and they're going to do that. You're going to have all these EU nations break off from the EU or the NATO or whatever. You got Trump over there. Got America confiscating Russian oil tankers down near or leaving Venezuela or whatever. So you got a lot of Babylon, America, Trump. They just doing what they want right now. Okay, but eventually these nations, they're gonna have to back up that tough talk. Okay, they talking that shit. They're gonna have to back it up, and that's what's gonna eventually bring us into World War III. Okay, but we're seeing things play out on a small scale right now. All right, where these nations already hate Babylon, but it has to grow where it's unbearable, where they feel that hey, we ain't got no choice. All right, we all got to come together. All right, even the allies of America are going to have to come together. Like, we got to put this devil down. All right, or before this devil puts us down. Okay, so I'm gonna play this video that one of the elders sent to the chat, and just you can see what the sentiment or the mind state of what these nations are at, but they not really fully there yet. All right, you damn near gonna have to have boots on these boots on the ground in these various nations for them to do something, for them to blink. Okay, but it's the Lord that's gonna put the spirit on these smaller nations to rise up to say, hey, enough is enough. All right, thus we're going to bring us into World War III. All right, that global conflict, that war of wars. All right, so I'm going to play this. I'll speed it up. Let me see. So I won't, to get this, I don't want this to linger no longer. Not linger, but I just, want to get this out the way.
Greenland, yeah. I see the family Miller is now big on Greenland, and there's Mrs. Miller, the wife of Mr. Miller, two completely confused personalities from the American right. Yeah? They have, one is a podcaster, the deputy chief of staff of the White House, seem to hate Europe and to hate everybody, and I don't know I don't care for them, but Greenland is ours, it's Europe. I agree. We should have changed the status of Greenland. And this is a typical European problem because we never change anything. We never improve anything. We just leave it as it is until Trump breaks it. And that's our problem, of course, because the status of Greenland as a de facto colony of Denmark was never very reasonable. Yeah? Of course, a country like Greenland should be a full member of the European Union, or at least a full member of Denmark as a federal state of Denmark or something like this. And of course, they should be fully in the EU, fully in the Euro, fully in OECD, and a full member of the West. Yeah? And the whole thing as an independent state or as a region of Denmark. But this kind of leftover of colonial times is never very good. And Trump is now crashing the system. And then we see that we, the non-changing, always status quo related Europeans, are fucked up, basically. And now he wants to take it. Of course he cannot take it. And I say, if you take it, we take every single base of the Americans from Aviano to Ramstein, from Romania to all the other military bases will be confiscated and you will lose it.
And we will, as prophets, hey, we want to see it happen. I'm all for Trump taking Greenland just so they can, act on their words if they really about that shit. Okay, but more than likely they not. Okay, they, a lot of these countries been talking a lot of crap. All right, but like I said, it has to build up. Okay, we're in the process of the build up right now. Uh, um, we're building up to the climax. Okay, and when we get there, that's when you're gonna see all hell break loose in Babylon, all hell break loose across the world. You're gonna have, major nations: China, Russia, Iran, of course, Babylon, America, NATO, EU, NATO countries, fighting amongst each other. Okay, mainly the majority of the fighting is going to take place over there in the Middle East, with eventually Babylon, America, being destroyed. Okay, but we're working our way up to that point right now, and we're in the early stages, I'll say. But hey, this has to happen, okay? And Trump is also talking about going over there to Iran. All right, and everyone knows that U.S. is backing Israel. Israel is shooting Iran, or they go back and forth with U.S. Supplied missiles. All right, so everyone knows USA. The USA it has an indirect hand in all of this shit. Okay, all of the different conflicts throughout Babylon, they got their hand in Ukraine. They got their hand somehow in Taiwan and China's conflict. Of course, in the Israel and Gaza, Israel and Iran. So this devil is everywhere where he don't need to be, and that's going to be to his destruction. Okay, and that was a part of the fall of Rome. All right, where their military was it was they were scattered all over the place, so their military was thin. All right, which left um, Rome, or what was it? The capital, wide open for barbarians, or during those times to come and take over the main city. All right. So let me play a little bit more.
Position of American power since World War II, for which so many Americans were dying and so many trillions were spent in order to have American Europe, and we love it. We say thank you for liberation for the Nazis and from the Soviets to keep us safe, and for the liberation of Europe. That was all for America. Thank you very much. But if you take Greenland, you have to leave. It's very simple, Mrs. Miller. This is the leverage we have. You need the spaces for global power projection. You won't have it. And we can defend ourselves very well, and we will do that without the US nuclear shield, without the US troops in Europe, without the American bases. We will simply run these bases ourselves, and we run your boys home into Chicago, and Ohio. And goodbye. If you want war, we are ready, and that's definitely something we will win. Europe is for eternal, and we will also defeat the challenge of Putin and of Trump. And if you go extreme, we go extreme as well, Mrs. Miller.
Yeah. He don't even believe that. He don't even believe that shit that he was saying. That's why he was moving around so much. He didn't believe that. Okay, but eventually the Lord's going to put the spirit on these EU nations, NATO nations, of course, Russia, China, to push that button. To have the Lord. The Lord says He's going to put an evil thought in their minds to push that button. But we're not at that time right now. Let me grab a quick precept because it's an article in the BBC .com that I want to get to also. This is 2nd Ezra 4, and I'm going to go to verse 31. Let me see, 37. And by measure hath he measured the time, and by number hath he numbered the times, and doeth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. So, hey, the Lord is the one that's in ultimate control. We don't control anything. We just, we receive the Spirit and we prophesy and report on the things that are taking place. But it's the Lord that, gives these nations the green light. All right, it gives America the green light. The Lord puts the Spirit on Babylon to execute this play or don't execute this play. Okay, let me grab this in the book of Proverbs, chapter I think it's 21 or 20. 21. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, and as the rivers of water, he turneth it whatsoever he will. All right, so the Lord, your heart is synonymous with your mind. All right, so the Lord is the one that's putting the Spirit on these nations and to be hostile and be towards America, towards Babylon, where it's going to get to a point where Babylon's going to try to come with a peace deal, and these nations are going to say, no, we don't want no peace deal. Okay? And it says that in the book of Obadiah. I'm going to grab that also. But like I said, we're hastening unto the day of the Lord, and we want this shit to happen. We want, and we know it's going to put us here in Babylon, the prophets, in a tough situation. We're going to lose on this side, but at the end of the day, if we stay faithful and we endure, we're going to win. All right, and we're going to see the downfall of this place. Let me get Habakkuk 2 and 3, and then I'm going to go back to that other article. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come and not tarry." The end is going to come. Okay, and the prophecies are speaking. All right, and we're in those times where prophecies are jumping off the pages. Okay, let me just read the title. It says European allies back Denmark over Trump's threat to annex Greenland. 6 European allies have rallied to support Denmark following renewed insistence by the U.S. that it must have control over Greenland. Greenland belongs to its people, and only Denmark and Greenland can decide on matters concerning their relations. The leader of the UK, France, Germany, Italy, Poland, Spain, and Denmark said in a joint statement. On Sunday, Donald Trump said in the U.S. needed Greenland, a semi-autonomous region, a fellow NATO member Denmark, for security reasons. He has refused to rule out the use of force to take control of the territory. And Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen warned on Monday that an attack on the U.S. attack by the U.S. would spell the end of NATO. All right, hey, that's the beast hating the whore. All right, the beast is the NATO and the EU, and eventually they're going to come up against this place. All right, and hey, Trump could, Trump could act on his words, and so very well, hey, send troops over there to take down or take control over Greenland. Hey, we shall see, and in the coming days or coming weeks. All right, because hey, Trump talk a lot of shit too. Okay, and these nations, but at the end of the day, Trump is doing something about it. Trump is invading and bombing people, and he's more about action than talk. All right. And not saying these nations aren't, because we know these nations have the capability. Russia, China, Iran, they have nuclear capabilities, but hey, it's a time we're living in that time where it's going to grow. All right, the patience is going to, the patience that these nations display right now is it's not going to be there. It's not going to be there when things begin to get tighter. All right, let me get Ezekiel 38 and 4. "And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sort of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords." All right, this is the Lord putting hooks in the jaws of these nations to come to war. Persia, which is modern day Iran, Ethiopia, Libya, with them, all of them with shields and helmets. Gomer, Turkey, and all his bands, in the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared. Actually, shit, I should have started up at let me see. Shit, started up at 3 where it says Gog and Magog. Yeah. Start at 2. I mean, "Son of man, set thy face against Gog in the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, and the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and bring thee forth all thine armies, horses, horsemen, all them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, with them, all of them with shield and helmets. Gomer and all his bands, in the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with them. Be thou prepared, and prepare thyself, thou and all thy companies that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them." So Gog, all right, which represents Russia today, modern day Russia, is going to be a guard unto these smaller nations, all right, that they name Ethiopia, Persia, Libya, Gomer, Turkey, okay. Let me see. Let me see what I wanted to get. Yeah, I'll read. Let me see. Yep, I'll read 10. Yeah, thus saith the Lord power, and it shall come to pass that in the same time shall these things come to thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. Okay, and that evil thought is Russia, China, UK, France, Iran, North Korea, all these nations that have nuclear capabilities, nuclear warheads. They're gonna press that button. Why they don't press the button now? Because it ain't the time. All right, and they, they don't want that. What is it? Assured mutual destruction. What is it? Is that it? What is the acronym? Um, where they know that if they push the button that they're going to go down. And let me see, it is MAD, mutually assured destruction. Okay, I thought it was MAD. Yeah, where they know when they push the button and and America pushes the button, they know that it ain't no coming back from that. Okay, but these nations aren't that far. They're not that far in their you know they haven't gotten to that point yet. They haven't reached their boiling point yet. Let me grab this in Joel, the book of Joel, chapter 3. And I'm going to go to verse 9. Proclaim ye among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, and let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. That means these nations, all right, the smaller nations, the bigger nations, they're going to put all their resources into means of war. All right, they're going to have, they're going to stop, producing whatever imports they have, and put all their nations, all their concentration, all their concentration, all their efforts are going to be towards building up their militaries for this war, and they're doing that now. Okay, that was a lot of what a lot of the Cold War was about. Building up their artillery for this world's war, and developing that technology of the ICBM missile. All right, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahawashi, for there I will sit to judge all the heathen round about. So that's where the majority of the fighting is going to take place, over there in the so-called Middle East, the Levant area, where the Lord is going to bring all these heathens to really to destroy them, to judge them, as it said. All right, Mashapat. All right. I'll continue to read verse 13 and 14. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, and the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. All right, their wickedness of Esau, of these nations, of these heathens, is overflowed. Okay, it's the wickedness that they've done. The judgment for their wickedness is pretty much past due, and they're going to receive that recompense for their wickedness that they've done. Really to the apple of the Most High's eye, to the earth. Okay, how they defiled and changed everything, changed all the ordinance. They're going to pay for that. All right, mainly Esau. All right. Let me grab this Jeremiah 50, and I'm going to go to verse 9. It says, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon." Babylon's America, assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence shall she be taken. Their arrows is another way of saying the missiles, shall be as a mighty expert man. None of them shall return in vain. All right, so when they're shot, it's not none are going to return. None are not going to miss their mark. All right, they're all the coordinates that are set Okay, the coordinates that are that these missiles are set on, they were set from the beginning of time. Okay, whatever missile whatever missile was set to hit a certain point here in Babylon, it's going to hit it. Okay, it's nothing going to deter it. Nothing's going to throw it off its course. All right, because those missiles are going to have the spirit of the Lord in them to bring that vengeance unto Babylon, unto this place. This is Obadiah 1 and 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. And we're seeing that. Okay, Esau is being made they're being made small, meaning their stature amongst the heathen, and they're being greatly despised. Okay, they're despised amongst damn near all the heathens. Okay, even Amalek hates Babylon. Okay, for the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord, meaning his pride. All right, that's how Esau's moving right now. All right, that's how Trump, or who is the epitome of the of America, as far as the pride goes, that's how he's moving. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Even sometimes when you go to war, you're going to be strategic. You just don't tell them you're going to do it. That's like going into a boxing match and say, look, I'm about to hit you with a double jab, and then I'm going to, hit you with a right and then a left hook. All right, just in that order. That's what Esau's doing. They're telling you to play. We're going to do this. We're going to come over here. We're going to, you want to, hit people with the element of surprise, but not Esau. That's how proud they are. It's like I said, you telling someone what you're going to do in a boxing match, and you figure, nigga, you can't do nothing about it. You can't block. You can't run. Okay, but the Lord is going to put that spirit on these nations actually, damn, I didn't even get that. Let me go back to the Lord. Did I get that? Let me see. Joel, if I read that scripture, the weak shall say I am strong. Did I read that? Yeah, that's what I wanted to get out. Let me see. I think I might have skipped over it. Did I? Where's that scripture? Oh, yeah, let me see. Yeah, I think it's up here. I'm tripping. That's one of the main scriptures. That's what's going to, yeah, I read it, but I didn't even break it down. Beat your Joel 3:10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, "I am strong." Okay, and you can kind of say this guy, even though he blowing smoke, it's kind of like the weak saying, "I am strong," saying, we don't care. Bring you in the military, and we'll defeat Russia. We'll defeat you. But he keep capping. But hey, this is a kind of a form of the weak saying, "I am strong" now. Okay, well, before these nations wouldn't dare talk that shit to America because they know that America controls, their economies in a degree through, they could sanction them, they can obviously put tariffs on them, and they can, even though they're part of the same, coalition through NATO, the NATO, they can there's ways around they can make it hell for these European nations or the NATO nations, but shit, Esau don't care right now. All right. Let me see if I have a few more scriptures. Let me see. Yeah, let me go down to jump down to Obadiah 1:6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are the hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. All right, the ones that were confederate with Esau, they're not confederate no more. They're not allies anymore. Let me read this in the NIV. All your allies will force you to the border. Your friends will deceive and overpower you. Those who eat your bread will set a trap for you, but you will not detect it. Okay? And really, it's the Most High that's setting the trap for this devil. All right? Where they don't see it, they don't see it. It's like they're going head first into it. All right? And the trap is set. Okay? And the only ones that see it is the prophets. Okay? The one that can see that the trap and know Esau's end is the prophets, because the Lord has given us a spirit to see these things, but it's written. All right, your downfall, your destruction is written in the scriptures. It's nothing you can do about it. You can't turn back the hands of time and go back, and you can't. It's nothing you can do, Esau. So, hey, you're going. You think you're going according to your plans, but you're really going according to the Heavenly Father's plans. The Heavenly Father's plan is this determination. Let me see. Damn, what is that? Zephaniah 3:8. Yep. Therefore, wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations. That the Lord wants that. What determination? Let's look it up. We went into this Saturday too. My determination. Masfat. Mishfat. Let's see. Decision. Right. Privilege. Due. Let me go down to the lexicon. Judgment. All right. That's the Lord's judgment. For judgment, righteousness, to do unrighteous, use of an act of judging. Okay, that's the Lord's determination to judge. Let me see. Right, that which is just, lawful according to law. Okay, this is the Lord's determination to bring this to pass. He wants this to happen. Lord wants people to die in World War. Yeah, hell yeah. The Lord wants that. Okay, the Lord wants, the Lord wants all of that. The Lord wants all the smoke. All right. I'll start again. Therefore, wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble their kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. So Yahawah Shem Yahawashi, the scriptures say, let me get it. Isaiah 63. Vengeance burns in the Lord's heart. This is Isaiah 63:4. For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. Okay, excuse me. Yahawashi, he's ready to get back some. He's ready to to get busy too. Okay, because it's going to be a world war amongst the nations. All right, but Yahawashi got to come back. He got to get some licks in. Okay, so yeah, I just want to hit hit a few points, man, and just kind of like a World War III update, or prelude to what's about to take place. Lord willing, this year, maybe next year, but the tensions are rising, and it ain't no turning back. All right, ain't no peace treaty that's gonna make shit better, especially if Trump eventually goes and does what he says he's gonna do to Greenland. All right, so Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the hopeful elect, and I would like to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi Bahasham Harakakwadash Shalom.